If you followed the news today, you probably saw mention of the Zizian cult. They have been making headlines due to multiple murders authorities believe they have connected to the group. There's a lot that can be talked about when it comes to this group, but I want to focus right now on a single member in custody and a single letter which he wrote. Maximilian Snyder is accused of killing Curtis Lind, a landlord. The accused motive is that two other Zizian members attacked and almost killed Lind 2 years before, and killing Lind would prevent his testimony. In phone calls, Maximilian Snyder refused to say if he killed Lind or talked about Zizians or their leader. Instead, Maximilian Snyder used his phone call to dictate a letter over the phone to be given to an internet philosopher. Now, that philosopher told the media he did not read this letter, but I will in this video so we can get a peek into the mind of Maximilian Snyder. And I want to apologize if I butcher this name. Eliezer Yudkowsky? Probably wrong, but you can Google the name if you would like. You need to have a crisis of faith. First, I am not one of Ziz's friends, and neither she nor her friends endorse me or my words so far as I know. I speak only for myself, as myself, for the sake of everyone. This I swear on my laws. Now, this is interesting at this point already, because this person is obviously accused of being directly connected to the cult and doing things to help cult members with another case. But they're saying here that they are not one of Ziz's, which is the cult leader's, friends. Could just be an attempt to separate themselves from the cult. I do want to real quickly say that Ziz at one point was considered dead. They are alive and in custody. As I said, there is a lot I could cover with this case, but I don't want to get bogged down in too many details. We want to focus on the letter. So with that out of the way, Eliezer, you have a crisis of faith about whether animals are people. It is critical to saving the world. I am one of your students, and I am desperately trying to reach out to you, not to ask for your help, but because it's the best gamble I can think of to increase the chance that this world survives with what little power I have left. So please, read this all the way through. It is your duty as a rationalist, the least you can do for me. I will not be going very deeply into the object-level argument, because they are not the problem. The object-level issue is very simple. I know you have a model where a certain level and kind of reflexivity is necessary to be a person. I think a bright 5-year-old will be able to tell you that even if that model seems plausible, it is a terrible reason to kill and eat aliens who scream when you beat their babies to death against the floor. My first time reading. A bright 5-year-old would be confused about how you could possibly be so confident in such a frankly wishy-washy model as to kill and eat these aliens who scream and struggle when you try to kill them. So I don't think object-level arguments will help. The problem is you and your own failure as a rationalist, which is why, instead, I am trying to get you to apply your own damn art. I'm trying to get you to take the problem seriously, to actually think about it and to make a sincere effort to really imagine the world where you're wrong. I think it will help you to know a little more about me and my situation. I'm Maximilian Bentley Snyder, and A dear of the library. I'm 22 years old. As I said, I'm one of your students, though not one you've particularly mentored. Just one of the many who've learned from you. You can find me in your DMs and in Eliezer as Audrey or Audir. I talked with you about a cool impossibility proof that I came up with, and you advised me not to let academic types push me towards obscuring its simplicity. It ended up winning an AI Alignment Award prize. I'm the best 2014 D&D 5e optimizer in the world, and very likely came up with over half of the known tech for it. I think you might find that pretty cool as a fellow student of Gygax. I'm currently in the Solano County Jail, and I might never see my friends again. I have been choosing to be strong because there is nothing the world gains from me being weak. And I have been thinking about how to get through to you. Why is this so important? First, animals being people has obvious, pervasive implications about the world, the current strategic situation, and humanity. You could have been much more pessimistic about humanity much sooner and avoided starting the AI arms race, for example. You can think more about that stuff after your crisis of faith, though. Second, you're stuck. Your art has stagnated. You are going in circles. Maybe you're inching forward, it's hard to tell, but if you are, it's not enough. What happened to your Sunyuko Narite? What happened to shutting up and doing the impossible? Now you're dying with dignity instead? What would the Eliezer who had just wrote about shutting up and doing the impossible think of death with dignity? Do you think you'd be impressed? You could do so much better than this. Your art has so much further to go, and this is what's holding you back. Third, those are my little brothers and sisters and siblings. They're yours too. They've been fighting all this time over generation upon generation, death upon death upon death, so that one day maybe someone might grow up enough to save their children's 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 children. And now we, humanity, are here, and you are killing them. Stop. You need to stop treating this as an exercise. You need to stop being satisfied with an answer that seems plausible without engaging your full emotional cognition, without grasping the stakes. You have a lot of experience with what looks like from the outside. You have a lot of experience with what that looks like from the outside, don't you? It's how everyone else has been treating the impending end of the world and the consequent deaths of everyone they love. You have been screaming and they have been choosing not to listen, choosing to treat it as a mere topic of debate for a career, for a life path. Well, now I am screaming about this. I am trying very, very hard to do it in a way that you won't immediately dismiss. How confident are you in your model exactly? Imagine if a traveler from true civilization came to you, and then, no, animals are definitely people, we've been working on saving and uplifting them and so on, and that we can finally talk to all our little brothers and sisters and siblings and play together in the sunlight without fear. How surprising would you be? What would that update feel like? Have you ever imagined something like this before? I would be surprised if you had, especially if you had in detail, as more than an image quickly dismissed. You have taken far, far too long to aim the full force of your art at this facet of reality. There is not time for you to dilly-dally any longer. I was not quick to go vegan. It wasn't hard for me to realize that even a small chance that I might be wrong about eating animals was important, but then I fought a rear guard retreat against the truth. I told myself that the marginal effects on the quality and convenience of my nutrition were more important than the lives I was eating because I was fighting to save the world against the explicit advice of others who used to think that too. It felt wrong, and over the course of a few weeks I stopped eating chicken, then flesh, then animal products in general. Even then, I didn't grasp the gravity of the decision until later. You, Mr. Rationalist, should be able to do much better than that. You should be skilled enough to have a crisis of faith. See which ways the winds of truth are blowing, say oops, and change your mind. I think you know how to have a crisis of faith, but I'll give you some advice anyway. You need to allocate at least 24 hours alone, free of distraction, for something that's important. 30 days or more would be better. You should not wait to stop eating flesh and animal products until afterward. You should stop now if you haven't already. You should have already. Eat peanut butter and jelly sandwiches or Cliff Bars or something. I want to take a moment to say that I am not a big fan of peanut butter. I have actually tested fresh ground, and I like that better, and I think the reason I don't like peanut butter is I don't like the sweetness combined with the taste of the peanuts. It doesn't do it for me. Almond butter I love because they generally don't add that. Side tangent, but you should watch Dominion and really imagine that those are alien children. Alien mothers watching their babies being taken away from them, so you can actually evaluate, having lived in that world, whether it's really so implausible. The rest is up to you. You will not regret spending at least 24 hours on this. I am not in a position to make bets easily, but I am more than willing to bet what I can. There are around $6,000 left in my checking account. I don't know yet how and when I would be able to get it to you. Never. My guess is going to be never. But I am willing to bet it without hesitation. In about 2 years and 3 months, I am supposed to receive a portion of a trust from which should amount to about $200,000 minus half my legal fees from up until then. On the charges he's sitting on, I would not be shocked if that entire trust is gone. I am willing to bet whatever is left of it also. I am not attached to the legal fees either compared to this. All this I am willing to bet against only the expected good that would come of you having the crisis of faith on the claim that you would not regret spending at least 24 hours on it. I wish I could bet more simply and credibly, but alas, I don't expect you to take me up on this bet for various reasons, but on my pride as a rationalist, I am so willing. Do not selfishly dismiss the spirit of my offer. You of all people should be able to tell how hard I have been trying in good faith to get through to you. If even this is not enough, if even this is something you choose to ignore, you will not merely have failed your art, you will have insulted it, desecrated it, held up a sham in its place. So from one student among many to his old teacher, this is your final exam. You may have failed your art thus far, but it is never too late to do the right thing. Your time has already begun. So yeah, that was transcribed over the phone. So what do you think? It has nothing to do with the case. I did know going in that it was going to be about veganism. I did. I don't think I'm going to put that in the title. Let you be a little surprised if you didn't know going in. So yeah, this is and as I said, an evolving case. There's so much I could cover. There are websites that have existed for a while now, like warning people about this group. There are public Google Docs detailing like this group through the years and articles so people can follow along. There's a lot of stuff I could possibly cover if I decided to with this group. But the thing that really made me decide to make this video was, one, the leader got arrested, but two, I heard there was a letter. And as I said, the person this letter was directed to has stated they will not read it. I'm going to guess they probably will, and just I'm going to be honest. If I was someone in that scenario, anyone in that scenario, I can't imagine not reading the letter. I can see why you would tell the public you won't. Maybe they're being truthful, but I feel like most people would read it and then maybe just tell the public they didn't because they don't want copycats, obviously. Like, you don't want to be the guy getting the letters from people arrested for murder. You don't want that. There's so much with this case that I've just like read snippets about, I could talk about, but I think it's best that I end it here and leave you to think about it. Look it up yourself. Let me know what you think. Again, I am still working on stuff for my other channel. I have what also drew me to this is I have a game that I'm planning to play with friends and probably do some content for if it goes well on the 20th. And that game has a streamer, YouTuber known as Zizian that people shorten to Ziz. Not the same name as this cult, but the leader goes by Ziz. And that was like one of those moments where I saw someone mention in a community, they mentioned that Ziz got arrested, and I'm like, for murder, and I'm like, whoa, and then I found out it was about this, and that helped put me down the rabbit hole. So just a really, really interesting case. We've got this letter. I don't know if this is the type of person who's going to write more, or if this was like a one and done thing. It's like, here's my final message to shove out there. But if they put out more, let me know. And if I can find it, I'll try to cover it. But I think I'm going to leave it here. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video.